All right. Now, I don't want to be the one that rains on you. I'm looking out the window. It's so gloomy anyway, so let's just continue with it. Okay? Now, a couple of days ago, the president announced that there was going to be 100% government funding for university education.
Yes.
Check. Now, the things that don't quite check under that is where this money is going to come from and the manner in which it is going to work. Let's park that aside for a moment, because what we're going to be talking about this hour is that very thing, and we're going to be asking you the question about what the situation really is. I'll tell you one situation that we see today. I'm just discussing this with Marion earlier. Now, stay with me here because it doesn't look too good, but I'm taking my brush strokes to a picture that is not very pretty. Students in need of government support at risk as Higher Education Loans Board appeals to Parliament over a huge deficit. Yes, this is actually happening at the same time. Thousands of students preparing to join university in September, that's in the next 1.5 months, risk missing out on financial support from the Higher Education Loans Board due to the agency's dire financial situation. Now, documents tabled by HELP before the National Assembly Committee on Education show that the National Treasury allocated only 56.71 billion shillings to the board against the requirement of 114.36 billion. What does that mean? As a result, the 57.65 billion funding gap is expected to adversely affect 1,199,423 students who will need support. So what does that tell you? It has already been established that this, in excess of this number, requires support to go to university. Now, that means that this number and plus some will not be able to access it if this deficit is not met. A major constant factor affecting HELP's mandate remains the widening mismatch between student financing requirements and available budget allocations. This is what the board told the committee. For the last 4 financial years, HELB has continued to operate on a budget deficit despite the sharp increase in the number of students requiring support. HELB has sounded the alarm and told Parliament that it needs urgent financial assistance. In documents before Parliament, the board has strained to support needy students since the 2023-2024 financial years. According to the board, yet again, the board continues to work with the Ministry of Education and the National Treasury to mobilize additional resources to sustain equitable access to higher education financing. Now, HELB, if I am understanding correctly, is much needed resources that you attain at the post-secondary school level, because HELB is also available to tertiary institutions, your TVETs and such. It is money that the Exchequer gives to this institution that you as a student are able to get access to for tuition and accommodation in some cases. Both, one. There's an amount that is given to you. Upon the completion of your education, the course that you are taking, and with what I assume is the confirmed acquisition of work, employment, something that is going to give you an income, you begin to pay it back. Now, what I'm not understanding, and I think it's about time to have the folks from HELP come back and tell us exactly what's going on, is that one of two things is not happening. One, people are failing to pay their HELP loans because they said it doesn't matter, or because they have not gotten the requisite income in order for them to do so. And number two, that that money which they get back from the repayment of loans is still inadequate for them to, because it should be cyclical. The money comes in, it goes back to somebody else. The money comes in, it goes back to somebody else. But that they need more money because of the fact that it is not the same students who are in the cycle all the time at the same time. That when there are year ones coming in, guess what? There are year 4 and 5s, 6, 7s that are leaving. In your medical fields, your law, your engineering, they're leaving. So their ones are coming in. Now, one would imagine that as that starts to happen, you need more resources. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You need more resources to then be able to settle this. So we are starting to ask the question that if in the last 4 years, the deficit has been increasing because of the increase of students who require the support, is it a sustainable model if you're not going to pump in the necessary resources? Hello? Missed call? Okay.
You know, what baffles me, Ndu, is that the government is the biggest consumer of data and statistics.
Right.
Right? That the government of Kenya today would have known what it costs a child from ECDE all the way to university, and you do that costing and you multiply that by all the number of students that you do have. That today the government of Kenya should be able to tell you how much it costs to take for a fourth year who's on campus today, how much it has spent on that specific student, right?
No, they can't.
Now, but
sorry.
it should.
Okay.
But it should, right? Because when you look at that number of 1,199,423, do you know what that really means?
It means
that is like telling
set,
you an entire set, an entire class
that sat the exam.
that sat an exam, the government is unable to continue funding their education. That's what you're dealing with. Because we are taking 1 million, we're graduating 1 million from primary, we are graduating 1 million from high school, who then go to campus. And every year when you're graduating university students, we are again releasing 1 million into the economy. When the government is telling you that it's unable to cater for an entire class, what exactly are we dealing with? Is it that we do not know that the numbers have gone up and that we need more funding into the same? Then we sit here and say we want to go to Singapore, yet you cannot assure your most important resource that will take you to Singapore that you will take them through school.
Not even that. I'm even saying, you want to go to Singapore. Okay, let's go to Suswa first. Let us even go the place that's 2 kilometers in front of
Let's
your nose.
get to Machakos
first of all. And I'm going to say something here. You know what?
Yeah.
Because we don't connect the dots.
No.
And I know there's a question we're going to be asking today. Because this university education seems to be the golden ticket towards employment and or starting a business, whatever. Are we looking at the situation in Kenya whereby perhaps it's just not, number one?
Yeah.
Because the employment continues to soar. And then we're looking at places now, if that unemployment continues to soar. If it is soaring, that means that, number one, this help money that you've sent out in the last 4 or 5 years is not coming back.
Yes.
Number one. Or even if it's coming back, it's not coming back to the expectations that you have put out in the first place. So, you know what? We don't make the connection. We don't between the 70% debt payment in the country every year and then money that you're taking out of vital institutions or vital pillars such as education. Because if you're telling us that a university education equals employment, movement, achievement, all of that, and you're saying that that is the only way you're going to progress, but you are not putting in the foundation to ensure that that works, is it about time that we say perhaps it's not? So every time you see helicopters flying all over the place and people are going to a place where they could just actually wake up a little bit earlier and maybe drive for 2 hours, every time that you see that somebody's gone to Benchmark in New York, every time you see that somebody's spending 17 billion shillings to make a house look a little bit better, do you know what you're doing? You're defunding education.
Yeah.
Every time you tell us that, there's corruption, 3 billion shillings a day, and we don't know where that has gone, you know what you're doing? You're defunding education. Every time you say, in the county government of X, we cannot find 273 million shillings. We cannot find 273 million shillings. You know what you're doing? You're defunding education. Because even the little money that would be available to make some of these things happen, you have either stolen it, eaten it, or put it under the mattress for you to use on a rainy day. You are defunding education. And then we continue to live in a situation like this where somebody's child has done very well in school, and then because a university education is no longer about can you do A plus B.
No.
It is now about how you're able to analyze. It's about how you're able to think critically. It's about how you're able to problem solve in a different ecosystem. And those are the people that then contribute to doing what? To making a conducive environment where you can provide jobs, to making a conducive environment where you can do business, to making a conducive environment where education, health, infrastructure, energy operate in the same system. So, if you are not putting in the requisite work for that to happen, then what are you doing? Yes.
You know, you've said something that is very critical, and I think we've never ever looked at how then, even what we discussed in the first hour, cost of doing business and what that is doing in terms of manufacturing. Because here we are saying we are releasing $1 million, right? Or we are giving $1 million this help money. Now, with this money that they're given, it is hoped that once they get out of school, they will get into employment and they're able to pay back this debt so that others can benefit from it. But in a country where manufacturing is not a priority, where manufacturing is not even a discussion point, one asks the question, these university students, how do you expect them to pay this so that others can benefit from the same? You know, because we can't just think about education in the sense that, fine, we're taking kids to school, we're paying for them so that they end up where? How about we start even taking this conversation further and saying, for us to have these graduates head somewhere, we have to address cost of doing business and taxes that will open up the market, will encourage more investors to come in, so that these opportunities, these job opportunities are available where these students will end up, and they will pay back homage to the original seed so that others can benefit through it. I reckon if we think like of this funding like that, the government will not have to struggle as much because help would be paying itself.
I don't even think they think about it.
You know,
I think it happens like now when the doo-doo has hit the fan.
Yep.
It's later because you think, oh, snap. The guys from HELP have come to Parliament. Hey, hello. Did you know that there was no money? Oh, what are we doing? Oh, you know, that money that was there before, we used it to pay for whatever. That is when the realization hits. Because let me tell you, if you don't have long-term, mid-term thinking in terms of how you're going to move, you will not develop. If you don't have long-term, mid-term planning and or thinking that you actually activate, you will not develop. This is what we're talking about. If you don't think about these things in a continuum, that the money you steal or mismanage today has an effect on the things that you should essentially be doing to develop, then I'm sorry. Even that suswa, you know what? You will not reach. The question that we're asking this morning, especially as concerns education, and then we're like the magician who keeps, you know, that eternal handkerchief that the magician pulls out of the hat. We keep pulling things out. We come and we say, okay, you know what we're going to do now? What sounds nice? In fact, you know what I should do? I should establish a presidential working party on education reforms. Stop it. Then tomorrow you pull something out of the hat. What has come today? Oh, you know now what we're going to do? We're going to fund education fully. Dennis, we're going to fund education fully the day before HELP goes to Parliament to tell them that for the last 4 years, we've not been able to fill the debe.
Thank you.
Come on.
That's where we are.
Do you talk to each other?
That's where we are.
Do you talk to each other? Or was it a roadside declaration where I said, you know what? I'm Santa Claus.
And you see,
in fact, I see you, my little reindeer. For the last 4, you've been struggling with this education model. Perhaps that's what we'll do when we get to Singapore. But for now, watch and walipie.
And that's what makes many very angry, because already we had a funding model. Fine, we agree it had its own problems. How about to fix that? Why are we going to a new model that have not tried in this society? What parameters are you using to judge that these will work? Now, here we are. We're being told that since 2023, 2024, we have never, ever received enough money to take children to school. Those are 4 years. We're talking about almost 4 million children who are struggling of getting funds to go to school simply because we came up with policies that don't make sense. Okay, fine. The president today has said that, fine, I will pay, right? Who budgeted for it? Because last I checked, Parliament sat, they passed a finance bill, and which is now an act of Parliament. And whatever the president is talking about is not factored into that finance act. So where is he going to get this money that will fund these children? Or is it just another roadside declaration to deal with the emotions of the people so that we can continue doing the nonsense that we have been doing all year long?
We're asking many questions here. Varsity fees reality check. Confusion over Ruto's universal funding plan. We are going to come and look into that a little bit. But the question that we're asking you this morning, and we want to then be able to have a conversation with you, is a university degree still the golden ticket for a better life, or has higher education become a burden to both parents and students? Is it one that we ought to be looking to, or is it a burden to parents and students as we see it? What are we talking about here when we're talking about a university education? Is it a burden now? Because, hey, Bana, even the help where you can get help.
Help where you can get help. It is not helping
it's not
you.
Helping
no,
you.
It's not helping you.
Yeah. Exactly. So what exactly are we saying?
Yeah.
Or what is it that we are doing here? So let's look into this a little bit before we go to break and then get calls from you. That it seems as though the people were confused. I repeat, the announcement of the president about how this is going to be, everybody gets a university degree. Everybody. Hey, okay,
we'll
that's
pay.
nice. And we are going to pay.
Yeah.
From where? The CS early this year told us that they do not know how much it costs to send a child in Kenya to school from ECD to university. They do not know the unit cost. Put that aside for a minute.
Yeah.
So when the president makes this announcement, you have to ask, is it political or is it practical? How much money is needed? Because I think that data and information should inform decisions and announcements.
Yep.
So if you do not know how much it costs, how do you then know how much you need to pay, and how then do you know where the money will come from? I know that there's something called a supplementary budget. We're about to see it, right? But is this involved? Was it in the thinking at the end of the financial year for Kenya at the end of June that the president was thinking, you know what we got to do, FCPA? We have to pay university. Or was it like over the weekend where he said, what can I promise them this week? Education. Let me promise something, education. It's been a minute since I did that. Hey. Come on. So where is that money supposed to come from? Or where is it actually coming from? Because guess what? They've been on holiday. They're going back to school in September. That money that you're saying pay for all, it is needed in September. As in, today is the 23rd of July. Finish July. August has 31 days. We finish. By the first week of September, folks are trooping back to school. Universities, not university. Universities. For those who would then look for that government funding. Let me breathe.
So in short, the
where
government
is it
needs
coming
to
from?
find over 114 billion shillings in 1 month and some few days.
Not just find it, find it and pay it, so that these guys can go to school in September. That's what we're talking about. So riddle me those three things. Number one, how much do you need? You've told us. Where are you going to get it from? Was it budgeted for? Did you actually intend to say the words that were coming out of your mouth? And did you have a conversation with other people about where this money is going to come from?
And I think while at it as well, what is your plan in making sure that the 114 billion shillings that you spent today, these students after graduating, they're able to get somewhere to pay it back?
So, we continue our conversation this morning. We definitely do want to hear from you in terms of what you think is the case as concerns university education. We've played around with this thing too much. That, it's like the kid who is approaching the dog's tail and the mother or father is saying, hey, don't play with that. But you yanked the dog by the tail over and over and over again until it's even got frustrated and it's not going to bite you anymore. So the folks in Parliament are having a little bit of maybe around the country, people who are education stakeholders are really wondering what's going to happen, because the rising number of students leaving secondary schools to join tertiary institutions and shrinking budgetary allocations have forced the government to review the funding model introduced only 3 years ago and hailed as the panacea for woes bedeviling the higher education sector. I guess it wasn't. This year, the Higher Education Loans Board has been allocated 56 billion against the requirement of 114 billion. This 114 billion that you're talking about, Uncle.
Yeah.
It is not how much it takes to fund education.
Yeah.
It is the money that they have available to loan people.
Yes,
It's the loan.
It's the loan.
How much is because this is very different from the amount of money that the president said that we are going to pay for Kenya.
Yeah.
Data informs decisions. What data has been made available to the president and his advisors in this cohort to tell you that this is the amount of money that is required to fund this education? If in the event that this information has not been shared, I'll be bold enough to say you have no business telling Kenyans that you will pay it. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Ndu.
Yes.
You said that 114 billion shillings is data that was shared by HELB on what they need to loan to students to be able to go through their education.
And that's only some.
That is data, right? And using that data knowingly, FCP expert John Buddy decided to allocate 56 point something billion shillings.
56.71.
0.71
Yes.
billion shillings.
Yes.
Based off data that he was given as a request from HELB on what is needed to fund education, right? Now here we have the president telling us that he will fund education. That means from ECDE to tertiary, right? Can the president tell us what's the unit cost? I still go there. What is the unit cost of taking a setup from ECDE to university that the government says tukonayo
He can't
for
tell you.
those 12 or 14 years?
I'm sorry,
right?
he
To take me
can't
there.
tell you.
Thank you.
They do not know.
So if he does not have that information, then what data, what information is he using to come tell Kenyans that I will fund education if he does not have the data? If his officers, those who are called the implementing officers, implementing agents of his policies, do not know the unit cost, what information is he using then? Because we have to call it what it is. This has to stop being a campaign slogan because Kenyans are tired. Kenyans are tired. This can't be a campaign slogan every other time. Fund it for heaven's sake. If you fail to do it for 4 years, how the hell are you going to do it in the next 1 year?
I have a however.
Now, a panacea that you had all of a sudden, the university funding model was to work. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Who failed in the process? What measures are you taking for this not to be repeated? You can't just come around and tell us, oh, by the way, we sat in this room over dinner or over lunch. We realized that this thing is not working. What are we doing?
I have a however. My however
Yes.
is that the announcement by President William Ruto that a bill establishing a universal higher education funding model is before Parliament and has triggered a question over the source of funds and its sustainability. So we're all asking this question. Very good. The President on Tuesday said the final version of the proposal was before Parliament and urged MPs to fast track its approval so the students joining university in September can benefit from full funding, irrespective of their backgrounds. It's the first time the president was referring to such a bill, and it caught many by surprise. I dare say the members of parliament as well. He also did not explain the source of funds. And I quote, "Now we have in parliament the final version of how we are going to make higher education universal. It will not matter the background of any child in Kenya. It will not matter how good they were. Going into the future, we've been trying to grapple with how we will fund our higher education." So you just tell us, Bas, what does the bill say? Some people didn't know that such a bill existed. But anywho, inquiries by the nation to various senior government officials for a copy of the said bill were unsuccessful, and they could not establish the stage that it is in. There's this thing called the parliamentary website, where usually bills that are in discussion will make their way. The Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba, and State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed only shared what they referred to as an overview of the Tertiary Placement and Funding Bill 2026. That's what they were able to share. Then it's very clear to you that there is no plan. And we've said it, whether you want to say it in English or in your language. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The source of funds for this money, because we are talking about millions of students who are going to school in September. Millions of students who are going to school in September. Okay, maybe hundreds of thousands who are going in for the first year, and those who are hoping that their help loan will carry on into the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth year.
Ndo.
Yes?
After the presidential walk-in party that gobbled millions of shillings, that indicated how the government would be dealing with the education matters, that even made decisions on where grade 10s would be going, where they're supposed to be domiciled. It is the presidential walk-in party. And even as we talk about this funding model, the president himself told us that this is the best thing to have ever happened in the education sector.
Yes, he did. He went to other countries.
He even went
to
other countries and said that that today his government, the government that he leads, comes back and tells us that it has failed. What responsibility is the president taking, together with his appointees, to the fact that they lied to the children of the republic? What responsibility is he taking now that he has admitted that what he said was working is not working? Or is it just another point where we say it is not working, now let's move forward? What happens to those millions of children who have been denied an opportunity, rightfully so, to access education? We can't sit here, say, to Singapore when we are not doing the right things. We can't sit here every other day saying that heads will roll when heads are not rolling and that mistakes are happening from the highest office in the land. We can't continue like that and hope that education, research and development, technology in this country will be a reality, that we will deal with unemployment in this country when each and every single time we have an opportunity, we are breaking the law and hearts of people who've entrusted us with responsibility. We can't.
I actually feel very bad that the response to the president's declaration the other day was one of doubt. That people are sure of one thing, and they're sure that it will not happen.
It's another lie. I'm sorry.
Because they're saying, if you cannot tell us how sustainable this thing is, if we cannot find such a discussion that is that has taken place in Parliament, if we do not know what the source of funds is, where this is coming from, then the truth of the matter is that the existence of the continuous or beginning education of a number of tertiary students in this country come September is at risk. That's the truth. We're taking your calls 0732 142 650 or 0732 142 653. Talk to us this morning. Is it really bad for folks who are looking for that help loan that should have actually applied for them by now to then be able to go to school in September? What does it look like for you? Are you then going to be able to get it? Or what have you been told is also a question that we're asking this morning. Okay, so our calls are coming and going, but let's hear from you this morning, because yikes, we're looking at a situation that doesn't look very good from where we are sitting at the moment. Hello, good morning.
Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very good.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Collins, and I'm calling from Nairobi.
Yes, Collins.
I think for a very long time I've been listening, and there is a topic that I really had to dial this number.
Asante sana for calling in this morning.
And literally say education is one of the things that I treasure most in life, because it's actually the only thing that can break a poverty cycle.
Mm-hmm.
The moment we keep on joking with this issue, then we are creating a very big catastrophe, not only in terms of economic development, but also in terms of our societal diversity in thinking. Now, I think I'm not a fan of how the government is implementing their policies, but I think our president is joking with us too much.
How so?
Yeah, so you just can't. The mind that creates the problem cannot be the same mind that solves the same problem. That's my thinking, and that's my thought. You need to step aside, let other people tell him what is good for this country in terms of what it doesn't understand. That's my take, though. I think he's playing with very, very, very key sectors of this nation, especially education and health. They should stop.
Thank you, Collins. A very clear one. Yeah. Asante sana for that position and for making your call this morning. We'll hear from some others this morning as well. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, though.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Talking to Billy, yeah?
Billy, where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Beru. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just here. I'm also surprised at you guys. You know one thing. Government projects are not things that are done from the blue moon. That somebody just wakes up and say, you know what, I'm going to pay for your lunch.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to pay for your rent. Government projects are planned before execution. So one thing, when the president comes out and say, you know what, I'm going to pay for your higher education, I'm going to pay for your university fees, where is he going to get the money? Because this money was not it was not budgeted for in the finance bill.
No, it was not.
Unless it comes in the supplementary budget. But when is the supplementary budget coming in? So before we say that we are going to pay, or the president says he's going to pay for the university fee, he has to tell us where he's going to get the money. Secondly, one thing about a system is something that is interconnected.
Yeah.
So when one part of it malfunctions, the whole guy probably won't even move. And that is very evident in what the president said, because the president comes out and says he's going to pay for the higher education. Then the organ that is responsible for that comes out the next day and say, "Well, what is this guy even saying?" Because the system is not working. The system is also not working when we take 1 million students to the university. These people expect employment after that. But because the government is not putting the requisite environment for them to get employment, these people become a burden to the country. That's why probably the loans are not being paid and the other students are not able to access the loan when they are joining. So one thing about this country is we have a problem with the fabric that runs the systems of this country. There's a lot of problems that we have. It is not the fabrics of this country are broken to the core. There's nothing that is functional. From the head of state to everything is broken. And until we fix that, I think we are not moving. Singapore will be a dream that probably not even, none of us, even our future kids, will not even manage to go to. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your call this morning. We're taking a couple others this morning as well. Hello, good morning.
Thank you
very much for your Hello, good morning. Okay. Let's hear from you. Hello, good morning. Taking your calls this morning on 0732 142 650 or 0732 142 653. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. Okay. Technology may do its thing, but still hearing from you and also taking your thoughts, because it's clear that there needs to be a plan on some of these things. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're fine, thank you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
My name is Jovina. I'm calling from Nyamira.
Yes, what are your thoughts about this?
Of course, higher education is a big burden. Because let's take my example. I graduated in 2020.
We can't hear you very well. Okay, let's take a couple others. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Tundo. How are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
What are your thoughts around this? Higher education, being able to pay for it, will it work?
It won't work.
Why so?
Basically, because of a couple of issues. One, where is that money going to come from? Because it was not there in the budget that was recently read. I know the president is a crooked one. Due to campaigns, he can decide to pay it, and what he'll do is that he'll come back to Kenyans and deduct it from our pay slips the way he's doing it with the housing fund. He just needs to go to Parliament, get some of his crooked MPs to pass a bill to deduct it from the salaries, or he can go and borrow it from his American friends and even steal it. Number two, these systems should be gradual. You remember back then Kibaki came up with the free primary education. If it worked, then the next president would have come now with free secondary education and seal the loopholes. Then gradually we transition to even the tertiary education.
Yeah.
But you see, we are in a situation where we are doing guesswork, roadside declarations, because in my thoughts, I think we should even do away with this budget process, because there's nothing that is in the budget process that we normally follow. The budget is passed, and then we come up with other things that are not there in the budget. So we need to come with a system that works clearly for the education sector, both for the learner and the tutors. Because even after some time, you'll see again the tutors going to the streets.
Yeah.
They haven't been paid. So everything is not working. We just need continuity in our systems, because we have no long-term plan. Every person comes in as president and comes in with his own trial and errors that fail, and Kenyans eventually pay the price. So we need a long-term plan, a short-term, middle-term, and long-term, so that we execute all these things in accordance with the plan.
You're right. Can't argue with that. Thank you very much for your call this morning. Hearing from some others as Santisana as well. Hello, good morning.
Sector, both for the learner and the tutor.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Fine, thank you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Tichika Sogoto. I'm calling from Nairobi, Usiro.
Yes.
This issue of university funding, I mean, the president is making roadside announcements which cannot help. The issue has to be looked at holistically. But the president is promising to fund fully, I mean, students are going to university. He is being insincere, and is actually not showing understanding of the whole issue. Actually, the issue of university funding, I mean, has actually faced one problem from its inception. The weak link in this issue is the government. It makes promises and commitments which it does not fulfill. For instance, when the government introduced the differentiated unit cost funding model in 2017 and 2018, it promised that it should be, or it will be paying 80% of the school fees for every student in their respective programs. But what happened? Actually, the government did not, keep its part of the bargain. So we see the government actually underfunded. It was not paying what it promised to pay. And because of that, universities sunk into debt.
Okay.
And the model that President Ruto came up with, the student-centered model, has faced a lot of challenges. And one of the biggest challenges is the government not dispersing the money that it should disperse to universities, the scholarships and the loans. And the issue you've just said about health, the government not giving its part of the bargain has caused a lot of problems to students and to universities. So when the government makes these pronouncements, it is not insincere, and it shows that it does not understand what it means to fund universities.
Okay, and I think that's even a bigger problem, because if you don't understand what is needed and you have an entire ministry who essentially should be the specialists in this, then we have a bigger problem than we imagine.
Sure. So then, those technocrats, or maybe those working in the ministries, actually I mean, they should go home because they are showing their ignorance in the whole issue of university funding. Because when you promise to solve an issue affecting students and you forget to solve a problem affecting universities, then you are actually affecting the quality of the education being provided. Because if universities are in debt, then that means they cannot provide quality. So when you're talking, giving promises to students, don't forget that the universities will also suffer if they do not get funds.
Yep, you're right. Thank you very much for your call. We'll take a couple others this morning, just contributing to that conversation in terms of what it's going to look like then going into the future. If we have students who are going to school in September, will their education actually be funded? Hello, good morning.
That's KTM.
Good morning. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Benjamin. I'm calling from Kiambu.
Yes, Benjamin. Speak up just a little bit so we can get you, please.
Just on the topic or currently on air.
Yes.
My take is one. The government has said on the part of one. The issue of the funding, the money there the students are being given.
Mm-hmm.
When you check mostly at around most of universities, a hostel goes for around 7,000 shillings
per month.
Yep.
Per month. Yes.
Okay.
We are talking about food. Give it at around 500 shillings
per day.
Per day.
Per day, yes. And that's small thing.
Mm-hmm. That's already 22,000.
When you put that in 9 months, and then the students who are given an opportunity, who are put in the band, I think it's band 1 or band 1. They are given like 60,000 shillings. So you see how when you divide that money within 9 months, it cannot even go for half of the first semester. Okay, come to issue of employment. Okay, sometimes back the kind of government made a mistake to kill things like, say, the refinery in Mombasa. Now the economy has to use a lot of money. A lot of money is mopped up to finance fuel. So money generally is not circulating in the economy. Look at the texture. The other day, Rivertex closed. The clothing industry is the biggest industry in the economy currently. But all these things are imported from China and Turkey and wherever. Why couldn't Rivertex be empowered? These benchmarking that people go out here and there. Why could those people of Rivertex be made to go to China to see exactly what the Chinese economy is doing to make sure that these clothes that everybody is buying all over the place, that they can be manufactured around, and it would have created a huge employment opportunity for these students who are coming out from school.
Indeed.
Currently, most students coming out from university, when they start looking for a jobs around, you find the most jobs, starting salary is around 15,000. So if he starts calculating that 15,000 to spread the whole month, it is problem.
I hear you. And these are some of the things that contribute to this conversation. I would like to take a couple other calls, but we hear what you're saying into this as well. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, how are you doing? Kindly turn down the volume on your radio.
Yeah?
Turn down the volume on your radio, please.
Radio on the TV.
TV, radio.
I'm watching you.
Yes. Turn it down, please.
Video is not there.
All right.
Zero.
Okay. Yes.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
Mr. Kiburo, I'm calling from Embu.
Yes. What are your thoughts around this education?
My thought is this, madam. One, let's reason it out. I think this is just a statement that was possibly released to possibly make Kenyans happy. To me, I'm considering it as possibly a political statement because one, even before we started the university, we all Kenyans know that the capitation in secondary schools is not working. Secondary schools are crippling. If the secondary schools are crippling, even before we go to fund the other sector, we could first of all sort our financial mess in the secondary sector. Two is what you have candidly said. We know governments operate through planning, government operates through evaluation. When we were implementing 844, when it was announced that there would be free primary education, the government gave us an explanation where money is coming from, and the whole thing was rolled out. Please, we are saying, let us not get in statement that cannot actually sustain itself. In fact, we could have started by being told the model that we planted and which was seriously defended. If you can remember, even one of the vice chancellors in this country, they were convinced somewhere and they said the process is working. One of them will say it is working very well.
Yes.
Then how come all of a sudden it has failed? Were we given the reasons? Who carried out the research? See, the coming system of free funding has visibility study has been done, and therefore it will be implemented. So I think Kenyans, we are bright enough to see statements that possibly are made to hype up people because possibly of what is coming in the next year of elections.
Yes.
And we are saddened because education right now in the sector is crawling. If for over 60 years, the Minister of Education cannot give us the unit cost of educating an individual, which everybody can use, then what are we talking about, surely?
Those are the questions.
It is really bit reason.
Indeed.
And it is bitter.
It is good that you bring it out, Asante Sana. You bring it out in that manner. And those are the questions that, I think it's long gone, as saying coming in from Embu this morning, that it is obvious that some of these things just don't make sense. And that in order for you to make sense of them, that you need to then be able to have these conversations and call things out for what they really are. And that's been part of our conversation this morning. I am worried. I'm in a place of worry about the students who will be reporting back to universities and tertiaries come September this year. That what exactly is going to happen? Is this a roadside declaration? If it is, we are putting the lives of hundreds of thousands of university-going students at risk. Good morning.
This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.